Hey, welcome back to another Wednesday Win Shot. I got Jesse Arnold here with me. Um, and for those of you that are checking out this for the first time, basically, this is just where we're recommending stuff to you. So um, it's never going to be anything that we're bashing or doing any sort of clickbait on. It's just merely stuff that we like that we think you might like as well. So you may want to check out. And today we are doing Resident Alien, um, which recently just came to Netflix. The first two seasons are out on Netflix. They are in the middle of producing their third, or well, not producing, but showing the third season, which I believe is available on Peacock, if I remember right. So anyway, yeah, we just kind of wanted to talk about this show. Basic premise is this alien lands on Earth and he is meant to take us out. He's going to try to destroy us, and then he ends up having to take on the form of a human, and he kind of through some shenanigans has to pretend to be human for a while, and actually has a job and is interacting with people. And so it's the main character is played by Alan Tudyk, and he is playing an alien who is playing a human, and it is exactly what you would think based on that description. So he, I find it a very funny show, but it's also got a lot of character, a lot of heart. But I mean, I think it's just great how the role that he plays in, like acting how an alien would think that we are supposed to act. So, yeah, that's kind of the background. But Jesse, I know you recently just got into this. What are your initial thoughts on the series?
I'm enjoying it. I've been wanting to watch it for a while. And I was glad when it came to Netflix. It just had so many things going on in the weekends leading up to, like, I know you started watching it a while ago. I just couldn't afford to just sit down and watch it, or
Mm,
I was trying to catch up on other things first. But it's great. Your description, Alan Tudyk playing an alien, playing a human, like he does it very well. I mean, it's it's one of it's hard to explain, like, the overall setting. Like, it's semi-realistic, but it's definitely a comedy. Like,
mhm.
it's not complete. I mean, it's a little goofy in some places, but, like, in the right ways,
Yeah.
it kinda gives me vibes of, I don't know if you ever watched Pushing Daisies. It's not quite as cartoonish as that show felt with the exaggerated sets and everything, but just the sense of humor and the interactions and stuff. But yeah, Alan Tudyk is great. The rest of the cast is really fun, and just setting it in, was it somewhere in Colorado, like up in the mountains.
Mm,
He's spending his morning hours looking for parts of his ship so he can complete his mission.
mm,
So all day, starts his day off looking for the things, like you said, to finish his job of taking humanity out. But then
mm.
he's unintentionally discovering what humans are like and what it is to be here on Earth and everything. And it's heartwarming and hilarious. Just every character is so the cast is playing each character so well because they're very archetypical or
Mm,
archetypal, not stereotypical character, but you've kind of got the overcompensating sheriff,
mm,
got the crazy drunk girl that runs the bar that's like flirting with everybody, and just all these different little things that are very familiar, but they do just enough different take with them and give them just enough heart that um it's hard to really dislike anybody, even the dislikable characters. Like, there's a charm to them.
yeah, it's not one of those series that you wanna take too seriously or start, looking for plot holes because 'cause you're gonna find them. I mean, they're there. I mean, it's a very small town where kind of everybody knows everybody, but he happens to take over the one guy that's kind of the newer guy in town. So him acting strange isn't that, odd to these folks because
Right.
they don't know him, but everybody else, like, grew up with each other. So it's yeah, it's there's that part to it, but um Yeah, it's just fun. And one of the first relationships that he has, playing a human, is there's a little boy that can, kind of, spoiler alert, I guess. Spoiler alert. Um,
They do reveal it pretty quick in the first
Yeah,
episode, so it's not a huge
it's
spoiler.
pretty early. Apparently there's so these whatever alien race he is, they can take on the form of a human. But there's some humans that have the ability to see through that. And so there's one little boy in this town that has the ability to see him for his true form. And so whereas everybody else is seeing him as this kind of weird guy, just weird guy in town, the one kid truly sees him as an alien and is like frightened. So then there's just some back and forth with that, and it's just really fun. It's a lot of fun. Initially it's one of those kind of, I got to take this kid out because he can out me kind of thing, and then over time they actually like become friends. And it's just a lot of fun. So um I don't
Yep.
know, man. I really don't have much more to say other than just check it out. Like his acting performance is the whole thing for me. But you're right. There are some other great characters in it, and I love the performances. Um, but his acting performance on kind of learning about the human race and how to be quote unquote normal, is just great. So
Yeah. And it's one of those shows, I don't feel it's as, like, emotionally deep as, like, Ted Lasso or Shrinking or something, but it has its moments, like, it skews more in that way, I think, in the overall sense of it, even though it's an alien living on Earth, but, um, I there's some good heartfelt moments in there, but yeah, his performance, just kinda that kinda, like, lazy eyelid thing he does where he, like, looks at people,
mhm.
and it's like, "Is he doing that on purpose?" And obviously, Tudyk is doing it on purpose, but I think it's the first or second episode you see, like, the montage of him trying to learn how to move the body and
Mhm.
everything as they it was just it cracked me. I actually watched it twice because I couldn't remember how the second episode started, so I rewatched it, and I was just cracking up. He's, like, trying to brush his teeth and eat, and it's just and the creature design, when you get to see him in his alien form, is a really cool creature design. So, with whatever CG or prosthetic combination of
Mhm.
things they do, I think they did a fantastic job. And of course, we didn't mention this. It is based on a comic book series that you can get in. You can get the collected editions now. I think it was from Image.
Well, there's a
Um,
reason I didn't mention it, and that's
oh, I'm
because
sorry.
I didn't know.
Oh, I
I
thought we
did.
talked about that.
No, I don't think so. I think, well,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
you might have mentioned it. If you did, I don't recall it, but yeah, I didn't know this was
Okay.
from a comic book series. So,
Okay. So yeah, there's a couple volumes of it you can get. It's from Dark Horse, not Image. Uh, and it's written by Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse is the artist. Started in 2020.
mhm.
So yeah, they did a couple. It's a couple of, like, mini series. They never do like it's not like it wasn't like a full ongoing series, but yeah, so you can check that out. I'm not sure how different it was. I was aware of it and that it was popular read. I just was reading so much at that point that I didn't get into it myself.
it's
But yeah.
it's interesting because, um, like he starts out with a certain knowledge of the human race, kind of based
Mhm.
on what he's heard from the other people in his culture or whatever, and then you see him kind of learning how things are a little bit different as he goes, and it's almost the equivalent of, um like, if you were to think about another country or something, or how people behave in another culture, but you've never actually been there, and then you go and spend some time with them, and you go, oh well, this thing that I thought or had heard isn't really correct, and this thing is a little bit different than that. And so he has like this awareness of the human race, but his
Yeah.
awareness is a little bit skewed based on whoever has told him these stories.
Yes.
So it's just fun to kind of see him learn these things as he goes, and you know it's weird because it's like he somewhat starts to embrace the humans, but at the same time he hates himself for embracing the humans. So Yeah, it's pretty good.
And they do a great job. He has this inner monologue. So like, you'll get stuff where it'll cut to him like imagining what he's doing to the kid,
Mm,
or he says, and the banter with him and that kid, and at least I haven't gotten to them becoming quite friends yet,
mhm,
but they're the banter between the two of 'em, how like, because the kid sees, like, the kid doesn't hold back. I mean, the kid's not like cussing him out and being like vile or anything, but just like, I know what you are. Like,
mhm,
it's just to his face. And of course, none of the adults believe him.
mm,
And it's just, but his inner monologue, the voiceover they have of him like experiencing stuff, and like just the expressions that he's doing on screen, with it's really well done. I'm trying to imagine how it would have felt like reading that comic when I'm watching this, because like I'm like, I can't see this without Alan Tudyk now. Like,
yeah.
if I ever read the comic, I'm gonna hear his voice. But yeah,
Did you get
yeah, it's
the part where, they have to, like, bring the kid in, because he, like, hurts himself or something, and they have to bring him in to the doctor, and he's the doctor? Have you seen that
yeah,
part? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And they're kinda having this, like, standoff back and forth, like, "I know who you are," and then the other one's like, "I know that I know," kinda
Yeah,
thing, and they're like, yeah, it's funny because, like, his parents will leave the room, and they'll be talking,
yeah,
alien to human, but then the parents come back, and it's like doctor to patient, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So,
It's good that they didn't just play the kid as like, it would have been really easy to just have him be like that scared dynamic where he's
yeah.
always running away doing, but like the parents keep doing things to try to force him to get over this fear of this guy. And
Mhm.
there was one where they brought him into the doctor's office, and he put some pictures out on the desk. And he's like, tell me which one of these I am. And like, because he's like, all right, I can't just kill the kid. So he's coming up with these different ideas to try to get them to leave town. And
Yeah.
of course, the father's the mayor, so he can't really leave, But anyway, minor spoilers. A lot of that stuff is set up in the first episode, pretty straightforward. So
Yeah. It's
yes, if
it's a good show with a lot of, I mean, just the way that, because it's a small town, because a lot of these folks grew up with each other, there's just, like, it's like they've got this built-in dynamic where it's they already have these relationships with one another. So it's not like you're trying to
mhm,
build that fresh, like they have history and they show some flashbacks and some things like that. So, it's not like, you're going into it and everybody's having to, like, fully introduce themselves because they already know each other. So,
yeah,
but it's yeah, the way that they interact in that town. You had talked a little bit about the sheriff, kind of, trying to puff up his chest and act bigger than he is, and then the deputy's the one that actually really does everything. So
yeah.
it's just a fun dynamic. So
And whatever episode 5 or 6, whatever I'm on, they get into something where they show you a different side of the sheriff because he's sitting at the diner with his dad. I won't get into that, but
yep,
you see like a flip side of his personality, and kind of, okay, maybe they'll get into this more to why he is the way he is.
yep,
But yeah, it's a great show. Thank you for continuously badgering me to watch it. It was definitely, I say badgering in a fun way. Like, you just
yep.
were like, have you watched it? Have you watched it yet? And I'm glad I have. I did watch another show this weekend as well, but we'll save that for another one in case
All
you get
right.
to watch it as well.
Yeah, I just
Um,
know, you really appreciate his acting performances.
yeah,
He does a great job in pretty much everything that he's in, and I think this may be his best role. Like, he's just so good at it, he kills it. So, I'm glad that you started watching it. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. And for everybody else checking this out, you know, check it out as well and see. Let us know what you think. Throw it in the comments. Tell us if we were way off base, or if you like the recommendation. And we'll be back next Wednesday with another one. So
that's
until
right.
then, we still don't know how to sign off this stuff. So
What's on your one?